Peace, everyone. Peace. Uh, Peace. Welcome to I Am My Sister's Keeper. And I am here today on behalf of my sisters and support for our brothers. I right now gotta how do I do this last time? Okay, apologies. Seriously. I have hold on. I have this Karmic Dynasty background up, which I don't know. We're not doing Karmic Dynasty today. We are doing I Am My Sister's Keeper. There we go. Appreciate y'all patience. Okay, so moving forward, way forward. Let's fast forward. Mother Matriarch Salima Ellis is here. Mother Matriarch, share with us who you are, where, how we can contact you. Tell us and we should expect from today's broadcast in brief. Gratitude. And also, again, welcome to I Am My Sister's Keeper. This is our shared platform. I appreciate you being here. Such an honor. Continue, please continue. I'm excited, so excuse me. Continue.
Yes, greetings and salutations,
Oh,
everyone.
hold on, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, greetings and salutations, Grand Rising.
There you go.
I'm Mama Salima. You can find me on Facebook on Salima Ellis Facebook, Pattern Masters, and also you can also find me at my school page, Universal Mind School of Evolution. So give me a holler, give me a line, drop me. And today we're going to talk about land, libraries, and livelihood, and all the things that equate to us moving into as a nation into the future, which we don't seem to talk about a lot these days. We talk about the past, we talk about a lot of law, but let's talk about land, libraries, and let's get to that future. I can't hear you, Miss Yard.
Okay, my bad. I was saying, gratitude. You and your beautiful smile. Gratitude. All right. Let's see. So yes, today we are discussing. This is actually a follow-up. This is our second episode, whichever how we want to call it. And the first one we on I Am My Sister's Keeper. This is the series. On the first one we addressed with Ramu Tefkweb the secret war behind the conscious community. So we will continue to address the so-called conscious community. We will continue to address the so-called men and the so-called women. And we will stand firm on I Am My Sister's Keeper. And we will continue to stand firm on we support our brothers in this effort to move forward. So in the push forward, we talked after the last broadcast in this series. And we realized we needed to start talking about what we need to do to move forward, what it is we need from our sisters and our brothers to move forward, to quit the talking, to quit the coming up here and hitting the live button and doing all these broadcasts and begging people for money and talking about like, subscribe, all this other. No, we need to move forward. There's going to be a day that comes when there is no Facebook, there is no YouTube, there are no likes, no shares, no subscribes, no none of that. There's not going to be a PayPal. There's not going to be a Patreon. There's not. What new language do y'all got to learn then? Why wait till they switch up the language to learn something new? Why? Because y'all reactive. But us sisters and brothers, we are proactive. So we are moving forward. So the push to move forward today, we are speaking on land, libraries, and livelihood, et cetera, because we always add some extra. That's just what we do. All right, so we are going to start talking about land. Oh, right quick. Ramotef Queb has asked that this is a interactive series. So the link to join us on the platform is in the description below. So you like to join us here and come on the panel and speak your piece and add value. We appreciate all that you have to add. So click the link in the description, join us on the panel, and we'll be more than enlightened to have you here. All right. So speaking on land, let's talk about land. Let's talk about what your viewpoint was on obtaining the land, securing the land.
Wow. My viewpoint on securing the land is that we need to learn the law before you can start really securing land. Because one of the things that I find a problem with when we talk about securing land is that we want to buy back the land that's already ours. So you have to learn the law, the language of law, the legalese, before you can actually start acquiring land. Because you don't want to pay the same government that took the land from you taxes. I'm not going to pay this government taxes on my own land. I'm not going to do that. That seems redundant. So when we talk of land, we have to realize that the United States is also, the corporate United States is bankrupt, and that there is a lot of land, a lot of which they do not want to put funding into. And some of those are the libraries, the post offices, certain services, public services, they no longer want to put funding into. They want to change those assets and turn them into digital portals only. So that gives us access to land and or utilize vehicles and equipment that also come with these buildings.
Okay, so yeah, I'm with you on not buying buying back land from them. This is not, yes, that's not happening. So there's plenty of options, definitely, to avoid that, to where that's not happening. And this is my place with the land. And I shared this conversation with someone a few weeks. I've shared it from time to time with people in the past year. When it comes to people want to get together and get land and live together and create these communities, these nations, and build. However, yeah, you can get the land. The question is who you're going to have on the land. The question is who are, so the person who's talking about getting the land, they are getting the land, or a group of people are getting the land together, the collective. You need to know who you're working with, number one. There also needs to be an escape clause. So if somebody's not making it happen, they can leave, on some type terms where they're leaving out the door what they came in. I don't know how each land group coordinates their paperwork. All I know is, first question primarily is, who are you letting on your land in your space? Who are you letting in there? And then not only the people who is bringing it together and making it happen. Once you get that core group together, the next question is, who are y'all bringing in to make up the community? Y'all bringing in them slackers who like to lay up all day and play games? Y'all bringing in them slackers who just gonna lay up and knock on people's doors and be asking for stuff every other day? There's people who should not be there. And I know wherever, and y'all can do what y'all want, where the land where I'm gonna be at, none of that's happening. You come to the table where I'm at, oh, we already gonna know ahead of time. We need some type resume. I need to see what you bring to the table. I need to know that the length of the time of, like, the lifetime, in a lifetime's point of view, what you plan to do the rest of the time you here on this land. That's like, and I'm gonna give you this viewpoint. I have a technical school offering welding and forklift, material handling certifications, and the people I come into contact with, and I'm showing them my projected numbers, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be a business partner." Well, first of all, I already got this thing running off the ground. It's already ground running, moving. I already did all the paperwork. Most of the paperwork is done. After the state inspection, there's a little more paperwork. But getting out here, hitting them streets and building relationships with people and networking and all that, and the headaches and meeting with people in these meetings and drafting ideas and running through all that, I've already basically built the thing. I've done it. So if you want to come in and be my partner, and you talking about 50-50, oh, ain't no 50-50. That's impossible. That's not happening. I've done the groundwork. And without you, it's going to continue. So let me know. I asked him, ain't nobody took me up on this offer yet. I said, put it on paper. What it is you're going to do and how you going to support your 30% of the business that I'm developing. Let me know how you going to maintain it. How you going to keep up your 30%? You want to buy in. I don't need your money. I need, if you going to be my partner, only thing I would need from you is some proper support. Tell me how you going to manage your 30%. How you going to make it happen. It ain't up to me to tell you how to make it happen. You propose and come to me about some land. You propose and come to me about anything. You supposed to be the one that got the layout, the plan, and I'm supposed to review it and tell you if it's acceptable or not. So I need to know, y'all ain't gonna be no, oh, Joy Allen, I'm trying to get up in on that land where you at. You got some, you got some, what you gonna do? You got a plan? No, you just got a hand. Get out. Bye. No, that's a negative. It's not happening. No, no. Then after we get together and we know who's going to be on the land, we know what they putting in, we know everybody's percentage, we know what your efforts are. There needs to be like a backup. Like if something happens to that person, don't count on one person to do a job. Anything can happen, and that person be needing the community to sit in with them to help them in the rest of their time here. Don't count on one person to do it, to do the assignment. Have a backup plan. Have a plan B. Don't put up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Mother Matriarch, you have something to add? Because I feel like I went on a tangent somewhere.
Well, actually, you're right. You do have to vet the people that you say that you want in your community. You have to vet these people. If you don't vet people, you're going to end up with people you probably really don't want to be bothered with within your community. So vetting is important. Also, we learned that through these dealings with the government when we had Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, that people have to be taught more than one skill, more than one perspective, more than one way of planning out and doing things. Because if we have this, oh, we need a one leader mentality, and the leader is gone, or the person who leads in that field of study per se, not so much as this is our leader, but this person is the leader in this field of study of engineering. This person is the leader in the field of study for agriculture. This person is the leader. So we don't want to just have a leader. We want several people who are aware and know how to work and deal with agriculture. We want several people who understand and who are aware, who know how to deal with engineering. We want several people who are aware and understand or understand how to teach children. We need more than one teacher for our families. We need more than one seamstress. We need more than one person who is handyman. We need more than one mechanic. Somebody has to know. We have to have more than one person that knows how to change a flat tire, per se. So I do understand when you say, who are we letting in? Are these people willing to acquire, set these goals, acquire and attain them so that we can really function as a community? There is no just one person that we have to rely on to get these things done within our community. So you're right. Who are we letting in? How do we vet them? And how do we get people to want to learn more than one thing? Not that they have to be perfect at everything, but a little bit what they call a jack of all trades is better than just one person knowing everything and then that person goes down. Now we're all hit. Nobody can function. We don't want to be that type of community or that type of nation. We've been there, done that. That's what we're getting out of now.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And yeah, it's unacceptable. For me, it's been unacceptable. I got some fire under my seat today. I don't have time. We got, and actually, right quick concerning this series, I am working with the core people of this series, and we are developing a schedule to where it can be a regular program, because I've had people recently ask me about a regular show. So we're working on this, as well as Kepra Patah coming on each Thursday. So, or at least a Thursday. But anyway, we're working on some regularity around here. Um, I was gonna say something. I'm gonna say that. So libraries. Let's talk about libraries. Let's talk about what happened to the original library. Let's talk about the libraries. Let's talk about getting them back. Yep. Let's talk about it.
The library that now that's a deep subject. That those libraries, that's a deep subject.
Yep.
As
Take your time. Take your time.
as you know, most the all the original libraries were robbed, raped, and looted, and then burned down to the ground. So a lot of that knowledge is kept within what they say the 1% or the 5% of the population that like to control everything. So now we're at an epoch. We're at an epoch where we have the ability to build, create, and manifest our own library. The question is, what are you going to put in the library? Because we know that most of the information, 90% of the information they ever fed us was false, fake, fraudulent, and had us just chasing our tails. So now that we're in this epoch where we have become the receptors of the information that they thought would be destroyed forever, which is part of this plan, we have the ability now to create our own library, write our own book, give our starseed, our children, the knowledge that was denied us and previous generations for so long. So that's the thing, that's the magical thing about that library. We have the ability, this is a point in time where we as a nation have the ability, the right, the manifest right to create our own narrative, knowledge, and give this to our star seed and let them educate their star seed with that. See, now that's what we haven't hit on when we talk about moving into the future. We need libraries of our knowledge, of our collective thinking, of our way of thinking, not their sciences, not their engineering. Their stuff is false. It all comes from us. And when we go back to the beginning, you will see many of you who feel like you might not have anything to write, to say imperative about this realm. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm not talking about this fictional bullcrap that these women love to read and all of that stuff. No, I mean real things that are going to contribute to the future movement of us as a nation, as community. This is a pivotal time in our mystery to to take the mystery out of us for us and write our own book, write our own, and not this 300-page crap nonsense that these people be doing. I mean, really write imperative knowledge for future generations. That's what we've already started. That's what's going on. That library.
Yes, yes. Now we have someone who has joined us on the panel today. And again, if you'd like to join us on the panel, speak your piece and add value, the link is in the description to come into the room with us. So you have the opportunity to share your voice. There's no need or room for anything different. Okay, so right quick, I'm going to share. I'm going to take a moment, take a break, and share um, upcoming events. Now I have Mother Matriarch Salima Ellis here, and we have the continuance of Black and White Are Not Colors. We have yet to schedule a date. Let me get her back up here. So it is to be announced. Part one was great. Y'all need to check it out if you've not seen it. Part one was great. Check it out. Books, bikes, bags, etc. That's my first stop on my lecture tour, Washington, D.C., and that will be August 21st. That's a Saturday. You need tickets or information, you can contact me at mkdtnt@gmail.com, and there is more information scrolling at the bottom as I continue on with the next event that will be in Pittsburgh. and that is with Ramutef Webb. And again, here is the information. Check it out. Get on point. Get on board. Get on deck. Be there, definitely. And also to take a look. Oh, so the event is the Astrology Conference 2021, the Neteru Tuatep. Excuse me, I have toddlers. Gratitude, everyone. So, yes, join us for the Neteru Tuatep in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, September 4th, the Astrology Conference of 2021. Contact Ramutef, contact myself for more information or your tickets. Also, here's my community event dates. We covered the first two. Columbus, Ohio is next, September 18th. We have the Homeschool Evolution, Salima Ellis, and Ramutef will be there as well as many others. Detroit, Michigan is October 16th. I will be going there again to discuss magic as requested, and I requested that it be interactive. So we are all bringing our crafts to the table and sharing and all of the likeness, all of the likeness. So at this time, I'm done with my housekeeping, and I have the great sister herself, my sister Charbay. She is here with us. Welcome to I Am My Sister's Keeper. How are you today? How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I just woke up not too long ago, so I'm trying to get oriented.
Well, we appreciate you joining us here. Share with everyone who you are. Tell us a little bit about you and what you want to add in, what you want to add in brief, and your expectations for today's episode on land, libraries, and livelihood to push forward.
Okay. My name is Facebook name is Charbay. Uh, my name is Shari Berry, and I own ShariBerryStudio.com, and I am an artist. I create. And as far as today, just looking to see where we're going as women, how we're going to support each other. That includes land, whatever ideas we can come up with. We need to have these kind of conversations. But I want to listen for a while before I do some real input. But thank you for the opportunity to come on with you, with the great mother, Ellis. Is that right? Correct. Salima, and also with you, Joy. Thank you.
Gratitude for being here. Thank you, Selena. Mm-hmm. So, where was I going? So we were talking about the libraries. Okay, so did we mention Alexandria, not Alexander?
Well, actually, I kind of glossed over them. I meant like all the great libraries. The libraries here when the Moors got here, and these other foreigners, and the libraries of Alexandria. Yeah, they were all burned down and destroyed. Throughout time, this is what they have done systematically to control knowledge, information, facts, whatever you want to call it. This is what they have done to control it. But this is our time to control our own intake of information and knowledge by creating our own library.
Yes. Now, my thought, and right quick, this is what I was going to say. Charbay, I appreciate your presence here on the panel. So, and anyone else that will come on, if the people come on and they just sit here, just the presence is necessary sometimes. So if anybody want to come on and just sit and smile, nod and support what we're saying, that's all cool too. You ain't got to come up here and just take over and get no full hour lecture. We need everybody to be comfortable when you come on here. There's no pressure. If you get up here and you decide, oh, I can't, but I'll just sit back, we can do that too. If you like to speak but not show share your video, that's acceptable as well. As long as one of us know who you are, we can roll with that. Now, my take on libraries. Speaking of, now the same thing with the land, on knowing who you're bringing in. The same thing is with the libraries, as you mentioned. What is it that you will have in your library? Because yes, most of what we have available is false. We've been taught, a lot of us right now, we are deprogramming. I say all of us are. It's always something to let go of while we're here. And I say the important thing is, which I've heard a lot of, is for us to control the narrative. Now, we cannot replace everybody's library, but where we're at and where we're going to be, we have our own that we are bringing to the table and creating. We've in part already started a library, actually. We've already started on libraries. And those libraries include, when you come with your natural, when you come with how you feel, not all things are going to be written or in a book form. The original libraries were all oral speakers. There were our teachers who spoke orally, and they shared the stories, and those stories continued on through the elders of the groups, of the tribes, of the sections of the community. When it comes to the libraries, of course, one thing that we will be adding for sure to our library, because the libraries, the land, and the livelihood we're speaking for is not for everyone. It's not everybody we speak in land, livelihood, and libraries for. It's not for everybody. This is for us. And if you don't know that you ain't a us, you might need to contact one of us and find out. If you know you are us, we know we are glad you know you are us. Libraries. We have the the homeschool evolution event, which I mentioned a little while earlier. We are creating a how-to guide on homeschooling. Now, the thing is, when people are coming into the land, the shared land, and they are bringing their children in, some of those children some of the children are coming from public and or private schooling. So the parents, the adults, their caretakers don't know how to go about teaching them from home, how to go about having someone else teach them. One thing we're going to be sharing in that guide, Malaya, one thing we're going to be sharing in that guide is the fact that you don't have to be your child's teacher. Someone else can teach your child for you. Another thing, and right quick and brief, is you can create your own teachings to your child. There are no standards, no guide. There are none of the restrictions you have to live by. You also create your own calendar, school calendar, and hours in your day. So to say, well, I worked all day, that's not an excuse. Your child can be homeschooled. There's many options. When some of these children are out of school because of the Christmas breaks or spring break, your child could be in the school on the calendar you created. So some of the things, one of the books that we are bringing into our library is that package, that book guide that we are creating. We've already started it for the homeschool evolution. One day in time, it's going to be in paper form. It's going to be ready to present to those of us who need it. That is going in our library. I know some of us have written books, and you know what? Libraries ain't always about words. Sometimes, because my sister Charbay is here, I know what I'm speaking about. She the expert around here on it. She can tell you what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying, but she the one gonna put it to the table for you. What I know for sure is things come in an art form. Everything is not words. Some of the things you need to discuss and talk about is in art.
Yes.
Whether it's a craft, as in this physical beaded form, or whether it's by paint. Some of the libraries, some of the contents of the library will not be in worded form. Because actually, tell you the truth, I'm going to talk about what we don't need to put in our libraries. We don't need to put so much English in it while we writing books. We need to not put so much English in the libraries that we're creating. We need to find other manners to communicate to our children and to each other. And sometimes it's in a form like this, or the art like Charbay has.
Yes.
That's my skill right now in the library. Charbay, would you like to speak to us about art as a language for
Yes,
libraries?
definitely. Yes. Thank you. Art let me turn my camera on here. Okay, so art teaches you many lessons. In fact, the first thing I learned about art was that there is a visual, there is the written language, and there's a visual language. And art was the first form of, um, in my world, it was the first form of recording history, and that's what they did from the natives to um, the England, whatever. But it was the first form of recording, and so there's really a visual language, and you can learn many things from that. You can learn about life. It is about life, and it comes out of you, out of your soul. Whatever you put on that paper, it comes out of you. But art is all about life. It has history in it. It has language. It has math. In fact, it's one of, I think, of the few that combines just about everything in it, the art. So art is crucially important. And that's why they recorded what was going on during that time through the visual, because we, what, signs and symbols, that's for the conscious mind. Well, those are signs and symbols, and even, and this is my thought. I'll go on to say that even when you write, that's a form of art. When you write, in every industry that is involved in this world, there is an art department or advertisement department, and they create the art to give you the message that they want you to have. So if you know a little bit about art, if my students, I would tell them that art is so important that you learn more. I don't say more. You learn a lot from it. I'm getting hoarse, but that's my thoughts. That's what I know.
Gratitude for sharing that. Mother Matriarch Salima, would you like to share more about libraries or anything else at this time?
Well, I think you hit it dead on the when you said, I think you hit it dead on the nose when you spoke about less English. Like there needs to be more than in our libraries than just written books. We know that we're more than just words. And art, I am a firm believer in our children having art during whatever time of day that their mind wants to get it in, they should be able to. Other languages should often be our priority now also. We do need to learn legalese. We do need to learn English in a sense, just so we can know where we're at lawfully. But when we're building our libraries, we have to extend beyond. We have to extend mentally, physically, and what we saw beyond their libraries. That has to be part of our libraries. That we have the ability to extend beyond the physical that you've just been shown of what a library is. That we have the ability as matriarchs in this community to take it more than just a step further. We can take what our star seed and what we're learning as adults, because this isn't just for my children, my star seed. This is for me too. I have so much still more to learn. And I know it isn't going to be just in forms of words because the system already changed the way our children are learning. So we have to be able to change with them visually, mentally, so that they'll want to learn what we feel something that they should be what we want to teach them that they should be learning. So that's what the library is for, to take it beyond what we've been shown as the elders in the community, just to ignite their imagination, to ignite who they say they want to be in the future, who they are going to be in the future.
Yes, yes, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, legalese, you spoke on that. Yeah, it's important, I think, to have the legalese involved until such a day where that whole system does not exist, because there's going to be times when people in the land we're creating, we may need to interact with them. There may be times where on that land we will be confronted or visited by them. So yes, it's important that we know their language and then we speak it and then they get out, because we got things to continue to do. That's it. Um, we also will be speaking about livelihood today. Did you want to address the livelihood right now, Mother Matriarch Selima?
Well, the livelihood comes with the land and the library. Most of us already are practicing our skills, our livelihood. Like I'm already an herbalist, so I'm already practicing my livelihood. When we get to the land, I will have the ability to grow my own herbs. I won't have to purchase, which I often do. I often purchase like a lot of herbalists, but because this is the growing season right now, I'm already growing echinacea. I'm already growing my own herbs, uh, comfrey, whatever I need to make my tinctures, concoctions, so that I can continue to take care of myself, my family, and my community. So that's where the livelihood come in, realizing how wealthy you are once you get this land, that you are wealthy beyond means because now you have this natural resource to build upon. You have this land to build upon that will help you with your livelihood. So when we speak of livelihood, we don't want to get tied into the capitalist sense of livelihood because that will lead to us back into the same situation we're already trying to leave. So when we get into livelihood, we have to think outside the box of what is livelihood. We can't think of it as just a job. Livelihood is something different because it should involve the rest of your life, something that you be done for the rest of your life. That's your livelihood. So do we have a clear understanding and concept that, of the difference between doing a job and actually living out your livelihood or practicing your livelihood?
Yes. And so I spoke to someone yesterday, and they have talents, they have gifts, and they just were yesterday realizing the three main ones, because somebody pointed out to them. They were like, oh, I'm already doing all of that. I think they got some type of reading or something. They were like, yeah, I'm doing those three things right now in my life. I work with this and that and the other. Yes, it is important that we also work on in assisting each other with enhancing our gifts and abilities. And that comes with time, but it also would come, I think, more in its fullness when we are together, when we come together in these lands. And actually, the land is not always the physical form, that dirt and that grass and those trees. The land sometimes is where we're at right now in this panel. The three of us, we own the land right now. We are already building and enhancing each other and adding to each other's livelihood. Livelihood, libraries, and land don't start once you hit that ground that you got your houses being built upon, them so-called houses. These things, they occur, they are within inside of you. They occur before you touch down. That's the most important thing that people need to know. You don't wait till you're getting where you're going to expect for things to start happening then. It happens with you and others as you're coming to the table, as you're coming to the land. If you have one of them mindsets where it's the opposite, oh, it's going down once I get there, it's happening, then all my stuff with that's not a place, that's not a place for you. The place I'm talking about, that's not happening. Some of that will happen. I think for the children, because those who are born in that land, of course, they will be developed and that stuff will happen. But people be coming to the table talking about what's going to happen when they get there. No, you have to already have in your mind. You have to have it set. You have to have already created it visually. You have to picture it. You have to see it. You have to know it ahead of time. That's my thought. You come to the table and I'm asking you, who are you, and you want to be on this land, and you don't have any vision, no creative mental power. I can't mess with you. It's going to be a denied application. Denied. Mm-mm. Just saying. I'm saying, and then all that. I can't do all that. That we being flexible. We gonna give them a. I don't do that probationary stuff. You got it or you don't. I'm at a point in life where I'm done. I'm not doing any probationary statuses. You want probation? There's some places I know you can get some probation. It ain't gonna be where I'm at. I don't do none of that. What, Salima? What?
But you're right. You're right. Because we're at a stage in our lives where we don't have time for probationary period. So the vetting is important when we talk about who's coming to the land. You're right. We don't have time for the probationary period. The probationary period is when you get there, your boots should be on the ground running. Basically, that is your probationary period. Your boots should be ready to go on the ground running. And what you don't know, you better be willing to learn it. You better be willing to learn it because, like you said, you just spoke to somebody who just realized they have three gifts. Okay, I'm not even, this is not bragging. This is just coming from motherhood and being a woman. I cook, I clean, I crochet, I read, I write, I educate. I mean, that's like seven gifts right there. Okay. I can fix batteries. I can change a tire. What do you want to do? It depends on your, like you said, it depends on your mindset. Don't come there thinking, oh, when I get here, this and this. No, you should have something already in the works. We already have things in the works. This is what we want to bring to the table when we get here because we're already working on it. We're already on it. So that has to be the mindset, like you said. We can't deal with lazy people. And you'll know when you're dealing with lazy people because a lot of times they don't even have the ability to learn how to just pitch in. When they see things are getting done, they don't know how to ask how to pitch in, and often they don't know how to pitch in. So they have that rote learning. Nobody has told them what to do. Nobody has giving them their instruction, which we all need instruction. But at some point, you should have an adult working mind that says, "This is where I fit in. This is how I pitch in," and to ask the questions when I need more clarity.
Absolutely. From personal experience for me, were you through?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure I did not interrupt. Um, from personal experience, I've learned that when you have to go in with like-minded people, people that are committed to being successful at what they do. If you have your vegetables and your fruits on your land, you'll never go hungry. You'll always be rich. If you have a system of learning, you'll always be knowledgeable, and you won't be tricked by uh, the words, because the words are important as well. Like you said, the language. So all of those things are important, and putting them together. One thing that I realized when I was teaching, um, that my collaboration with the other subjects was so important. And I tried to, um, and I'm just talking about art now. Um, I would go to the other teachers and I say, "What are you learning in history? What are you learning in English today, or for this month?" And I tried to coordinate my lessons with that to reinforce what what the students were learning. And with me, it's hands-on. Uh, with the subject of art, and I would try to reinforce everything that they're learning in their classroom, as well as what I wanted them to know about the language of art and the process of creating and the imagination. So all of those things are extremely important when you're going through that. Now, we will develop, of course, our own system, and we will tell a different story, because our story is, we're just now learning many about our own story. So, yes, the right people are important, extremely important.
Extremely important.
Yes.
Yes. Real.
Mhm.
So speaking of people and their importance, so on the panel today, we have the matriarchs. We don't have a patriarch representing up here today on this series. We had some that said they'd be here. Their schedules have been in apparently a conflict. So, do we want to speak? So, we are. Somebody is. If nobody else but me, it's happening today. We want to speak to our brothers, not the so-called men. We want to talk to the actual men, our brothers, and what we have, what it is that we see we need on their part for this push forward. No,
I,
not right now.
actually, actually, I think everything that you said i- is speaking to them also.
It's
Even though
speaking to them also.
I'm,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
saying, I think everything we've already spoke on goes for them too, also.
Yes. Now I just had to point that out because as I said, there's none of them up here. So I didn't want, I needed to make clear we're not just talking to the sisters today. Just because it's called I Am My Sister's Keeper and you see all sisters up here. We not talking to each other. We talking to y'all too, brothers. And we talking to the children that can hear us as well. We're talking to us.
That's
Yes,
right.
That's who we're talking to.
That's right. The brothers have
absolutely.
to be the sister keeper. They have to be their sisters. This this won't go far without support of the patriarch. That is the point of this platform. When you and I were talking, matriarch Joy, we talked about how we know we're our sisters keepers, but do the brothers know that they're our keepers too? And I remember that you were like, wow, that's a platform that we need to be that's a platform we need to be discussing that because we haven't been in this society, the men haven't been our keepers like they should be. But and we talked about how they know when they come around women, they know they're going to eat, they're going to be safe, they're going to do whatever needs to be done because that sister is their keeper. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. So we need the men to start being their sister's keeper. The same, you brothers, make sure y'all paying everything else because we do. I got sons. I know I got grown sons and I got grandsons, and I'm still their keeper. And their sisters are their keepers, and they are their keepers of their sisters. So this what this platform is about. We're not just talking amongst ourselves women. This message is for the for the patriarchs too. We love you and we need you. And you are
Yes.
part of this platform for a reason. You are your sister's keeper. We need you to remember that and keep us. Keep us safe and keep us in your heart. Keep us in mind the same way we do for you because we love you.
And so we talked the patriarch up on the panel right now. We manifested him. Ramatef Queb, welcome to I Am My Sister's Keeper, the series. Excuse me. We are glad you are here today.
Greetings,
It's an
patriarch.
honor to have you here on the panel. Share with everyone who does not already know you, who you are, how we can get in contact with you, and share with us your your viewpoint on today's topic of land, libraries, and livelihood.
Peace, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. On the top of my everyone, I knew Ramatef Queb. I'm Ramatef Queb. You can find me on Facebook or As Ramatef Queb. You can find me on Instagram. It's Ramatef underscore Queb. Um, I came in late, so a little bit of what I'm going to speak on when it
It's
just comes to,
timely. It's timely. It's divine. You're never late.
yeah. So, from my own perspective of the land part, so I've been watching a lot of things that's been going on out here where I reside, and a cousin of mine, she put together an idea where it's like having a collective group, and it's with her being in somewhat of a political status, a higher ranking in political status. She came up with a idea of basically how you say pitching in to buy land so we can market, um, but put businesses, things of that nature. So when it comes to that land part, understanding that a lot of the things that I seen was when it comes to purchasing land, I understand the whole push for real estate and things of that nature. But the real question is like you may have purchased the building and things of that nature, but when it comes down to it, have you purchased the land? And a lot of people don't really look into just owning the land altogether. They may have some like twists and turns for everyone when you try to put that two together. You may own the house, but do you actually own the land? When it comes to the libraries, I ain't been in a library since high school for real, for real. But I understanding that the qualities that come with it and the power of just holding or keeping secret like our ancestors have done. Anything and everything that we do is divine. Everything that we put together with our brothers and sisters is very divine. The knowledge that one person had is also collective with um, another person. We may have different views or ideas, but that's how you create that mindset of collective consciousness. When it comes to livelihood, um, livelihood is a whole big topic on its own because we have so many twists and turns, so many control mechanisms, so many um, false light coming around. Building up on that again is just always, as stated, you got to start with self, and then when it comes to that whole building of a nation process, that is what livelihood should be about. But at the same time, a person's livelihood comes with if you're going to follow the crowd, as they always tell you when you grow up, or to do things on your own, or march to your own beat, or march to a beat that others march to as well. That me personally, that's been my whole mindset for the past 10 years, for real. Because the people that I come in contact with, I'm really starting to vibe with them. I'm really starting to see how they are, and then with the skills and abilities that I have on my own, it becomes more of a how they say, more of a realistic point of view, if that's the best way I can say it. But yeah, I pass the mic from there.
Gratitude, gratitude. Also, okay, we have someone else here they left out. So you come back in the studio. We're prepared for you. I had to let Ramutep introduce himself first and speak. And would anyone like to share anything right now? Okay. Now, based on Ramutep's addition right now, and he spoke on when he was last in the library. Um, Ramutep, some of us know you, so we know you are a librarian. You have that content. I know you was talking about in that physical form, that one they gave us. We are walking libraries for sure. I just need to share that. Um, I also like to share. We actually, the other person that was going to join us was a brother as well. So if he comes back in the room in the panel, we'll have him come in. So, and either way, if not, I appreciate his effort. He actually did show up. So his presence was here and we acknowledge you. We appreciate you being here and gratitude. It's an honor to have the brothers here on the panel with us. Much gratitude to you. And let's see. Oh, so we spoke on land, libraries, and livelihood, and we spoke on children from time to time. We spoke on the children. Oh, being in the midst of some of my grandchildren right now, I'm going to speak on the children a little more right now, because we mentioned some et ceteras in the beginning of the video. We're going to speak off so-called topics sometimes. So right now, I would like for Malaya to stop writing on her hand before she goes in timeout again. Now, my thing is this: when it comes to children, I focus on my grandchildren to some degree. I look at other people's children. I don't do too much of an input. I just observe, because unless they ask me to, it's not my place. You know, my father was a little overbearing in that department, and I witnessed him just walk up in people's houses he didn't know and just come in a room and start this command phase where he just got the whole house in this command center. Like, dude, I know I just heard the man we came in the house with introduce you to the people in the house. Now, how you got all the kids sitting down? How you got the mama sitting up there on the couch next to him? I'm a little bitty. I'm like, this man, this is my daddy. But I don't do. If people ask me something, and you know what, I take that back. If I see an extreme, I will ask them if I can speak. I've done that before. I will ask them. To me, the concentration is needed on the children, because the land, the libraries, and this livelihood we're speaking of, they're going to be the ones who continue it. They're going to be the ones who take over. We're not always going to be here. Of course, they're not neither. So it's important to teach them the way. It's important to guide them and give them the space and freedom to show what they have learned from us giving them their way. Not giving them their way as in how they want to do it, showing them the way. There's a path we're supposed to be leading them towards. At some point, we got to let them go. Let go. Also, I'm right now, what I know and I'm observing firsthand, the children, this the story. I will say something to my grandchildren in public, because y'all, I done told you, if they do it right there, they gonna get it right there. I'll leave people meddling. I'll leave them alone. They just kids. They are right to know they're not all right. Because one of them is almost 7. The other ones, they a couple years from 7. Keep letting them be all right. Oh, they just kids. They just kids. Them same, just kids that grow up to be the malfunctionable part of our society. Because y'all let them just do things. When do they grow up? When do they become responsible? If you just let them be kids, when does that time frame run out? Is there an age on that? Did I miss that in a class? What age is that? What age do we expect them to not be just kids and they cool? It's not cool. I'm out here teaching. Yesterday we went for a walk, and there was this tree blocking the sidewalk. So I crossed over, took them with me, had them cross over. And I asked my one granddaughter, I said, do you know why we crossed the street? She was like, I said, just watch. On the way back, I had her watch. And I said, look at the sidewalk. She was looking, then she looked off of somewhere else. I said, look at the sidewalk. And we got across from the tree over there. She was like, no, I don't know. I said, if we was over there on that sidewalk and we had got to that tree, what was you going to have to do? I would have had to come out to the street. Yes, so instead of getting to the tree been there the whole time. The tree just didn't pop up. That big old tree been there, big in the street. Watch ahead of you. Focus. Pay attention. If we just gonna let them be kids, when do we teach them to focus? There are some things we can teach them to observe, focus, and pay attention to at all times. You know, there becomes a point, even with the babies, where they hold their own bottle. They had to observe that their bottle was in a such tilt position for them to even and focus. They had to focus on it to drink it. I don't care if y'all act like babies don't know. I be telling people these children is closer to the source than we are. They know more than what we know. Don't downplay a child. Don't play them for ignorant, because they not. They know more than you. They know more than me. And I watch them. But I'm telling you, even the babies know how to focus and observe and pay attention. And the proof is when they start holding that bottle by themselves. Don't tell me that these ones walking is cool. They just kids. No, they not. I'm not. That's an excuse. That's a fallback. And I don't roll with that safety net. I roll with the safety net. I know I taught them to observe, focus, and pay attention. If you, again, what's the age group? I didn't see nobody put no age in here when they not a child, when it's not cool no more. So what y'all wait till they 18 and expect them to know everything? Oh, then you want them to grow up. Or at the age of 14-ish, when they start smelling and feeling themselves, y'all want to put them out. Why do they have to go that far? Why are we putting them out? Why are we putting the children out the house? And when they 14 and 18 and you done put them out or they done moved on, because sometimes you ain't got to put them out, they'll just leave. How's it get to that point? What was missing in the household where the child was like, I'm leaving this so-called home? Because we spoke of so-called men, so-called women, and actual men and actual men and women. So it looks like now we're speaking of so-called homes and actual homes. We need actual homes for our children. We need to do that. We need to quit making up excuses, because you know what? When you make up excuses for the child, that means you're lacking in responsibility, because it done became too much work for you. You don't want to focus. You don't want to pay attention, and you don't want to observe. And at the end of the day, with these grandchildren, I'll be tired, because I've sat and paid attention to them. I'm listening to what their language is. I'm listening to how they speaking and interacting with each other. If you do not do anything about it in this phase, that before when they're up to when they're 7, they're the ones who's these grown people out here talking sideways to people, expecting to get their way with people, expecting or being sly and slick with people, being undercut, underhanded. All that they learned when they were smaller. It was something they couldn't get away with. And they was like, oh, I'm going to come up with a way to get with it anyway, get away with it. And then the adults wasn't paying attention, or somebody's dumbass was sitting there talking about, oh, they just kids, just let them. No, whatever little creature you see walking around about age 7, them the same creatures that's walking around right now. This me right here, y'all see? This was me at age 7. Promise you. I might not have all the words and the knowledge in them, but the base, the core of who you see right now, this is me at age 7. I promise you. I'm not what I see in my grandchildren, because this is a product of, they are a result of their environment. I am part of their environment too. So I'm going to insert my part right here. I'm going to make sure I do my part. So I know that I taught them something, and I did my best to redirect them in their mannerisms and their behaviors on another path. At the end of the day, they take all of what they have from their programming in their environment and they go their way. I'm going to rest well knowing that I did my part for their path. And I'm stepping down. Ramutel is back with us. He left out. Anyone speaking right now besides me?
You know, I was always, if you don't mind, I was always taught to take my son, to show him teach him everything and show him everything. There are teachable moments, many moments, and there's moments when he taught me as well. I learned about myself and what I should not and should be doing with him. It's so important to explain to them, you know, as best you can, what's going on in a situation such as crossing the street. What do you do? And I would take my son and I would actually physically show him something or physically make something with him, saying, this is how it's done. Now, what can you do with this? And what are you going to do with this? And it's simple things like when he was little, he was definitely into heroes and Superman. And he put this little towel cape on him. Now, he believed he could fly. Now, who am I to tell him that he can't fly? Who am I to say that to him? So I would talk to him and I said, okay, I can't, or I'm not capable of doing this. I don't know what you're capable of doing. So I left it open for him to be free to express himself, but also keeping a firm hand on discipline, because I understand that he is a direct reflection of me. What I do with him, how I teach him, how to react in this society is a direct reflection on me and my thoughts, and he carries that. And I just wanted to make sure that I was doing the best at that particular time when I was raising my child. But, like I said, but that's it. That's all I have to say.
Gratitude. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Yeah. Well, I would love to speak on that also as a grandmother. While you were talking, Matriarch Joy, all I was thinking was that Toys R Us song, I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. It's like they tried to drill it into us.
Yes.
Let kids be kids, but at what point do they stop being children? At what point do they start maturing? Because now we have a whole generation of kids,
Mm.
and it shouldn't be that way. That we have grown men and grown women who are Toys R Us babies, so to speak. So at what point do our children grow up? And and do we understand, as the matriarch Charbet was saying, that there are many teachable moments that we share with our children, and there are times when they definitely teach us. Like I know that my older children would get jealous when I would say I learned all my mistakes on them because I'm doing it better with the younger children. Like because I have a 31-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. So for him to know that I made so many mistakes with him just so I could get it right with her, they might be jealous of that sometimes, but that's our reality. We don't have a manual for our children. They don't come with a manual.
No.
The one thing that we have been taught before they get here is to love them, take care of them, nourish them, feed them. But all the other intricate parts of who they are, their spirit, their soul, their emotional state, and each child is different. So we as parents, we have to maneuver courses that there is no blueprint for this person. And now I'm dealing with 5 or 6 of these different type of persons. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
blueprint for them. So that's what the library is not just for our star seed for their future, it's for us too. Like, because I'm still learning. I'm still learning as a parent who's been parenting for 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning how to get parenting right. Like
Yeah.
there is no there is no blueprint for what we do. We are the blueprint. We are the first beginning. Like I said, this is a time in this epoch where we're setting we're setting the mold for what's being done for our people. And without us having these blueprints for all these little people that we want to teach so that they can be better at parenting than we were, because that's what this conversation is about, creating better people than we were, better parents than we were, giving them the blueprint that we didn't have, that our parents didn't know to give to us. They gave us many things which has led us here. So our
Yes.
parents gave us plenty because it's led us here. But let's give them what our parents couldn't give them, what we didn't know how to give, and so that they'll know how to give in the next generations and future generations.
Ramutef Club, would you like to share? No, Ramutef, I know from conversations with you and us talking that you don't have children, but you spend a lot of time with, I know, a nephew I remember before. Did you want to speak about the children?
Um, yeah, when it comes to that, like that's not even no, it's not even in my field because again, yeah, I definitely don't have kids at this moment. Um, but I do want to tell a story. So once upon a time, there was a family of generations. They had home values, they had morals, dignity, etc., etc. One day, these families got caught in a net. Some got caught in the net and was taken in a barrel. Those ones in the barrel tried to escape, but the other ones wouldn't let them escape. The ones in the net are just sitting there thinking, how can we free ourselves? Then you have the ones that's outside and free that look at the crabs in the net. Generations go by. Eventually, you'll find these lions that were caged in, and some of these lions broke free. Some of these lions took these crabs and transformed them into something else. But from the damages from the crabs in the barrels that got ate up, slaughtered, and placed in other places in other cages, they were trained to stay put. Those ones that got trained to stay put tried to tell the other crabs that kept getting added to it, hey, stay here, live this life, because this is what we're supposed to be. But then the lion comes back in and takes over. Then the generations of the lions eventually met a goddess. This goddess was trying to put everything in place. But still, with the crabs in the barrel, seeing that these lions are doing what they're supposed to be doing, eventually the lions started partying and not being, you know, helpful anymore. Then you have this generation of the goddesses with those crabs. They're trying to teach them to the best of their ability. But the more slaughtering and things of that nature, these crabs basically are starting to give up. Then you get these generations that have an undying will for justice, but they have no organization because those goddesses that was supposed to teach them have not done it yet or in the process of it. Then you get to the generation that starts to deal with magic and darker things, and they're trying to still learn from the generation that have the justice. So in this current generation, they're about to grow up what is called no religion or no morals or no status, but they have these placements of all these other generations. So when this next generation comes about, they're going to be the ones who are going to lead or bring structure, or they're going to lead everyone to destruction. So the moral of the story is that the more that we go through these generations and we find out what happened to us, the more we'll be able to spread the truth within those next ones. Because this generation that's coming up now, these babies that are being born and then up to, I would say, 14, I'll give it to 14. These special children have a lot to do with a great movement. But it's up to us, the generations of the crab and the lion and the goddesses. We need to bring about that balance with each other. Because if we can't bring that balance, we'll go right back into that crab in a barrel mentality. The end.
And they all lived happily ever after. See, I ain't read one of the storybooks. I forgot how the ending go. Happily ever after. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anything else at this time?
Well, I just want to say a little bit about my my. I want to tell you a story. It's a personal story with my son. Um, my son, I began to realize at an earlier age through my experiences that, you know, each child requires something different. They're not, as Mother Salima said, they're not cookie cutters. They don't come with manuals. They're all different. My son required something different from me, and especially different from what I had experienced, because I felt at that time that he was pretty much, well, of course, he was like me. So let me give you one personal story though. We were in a store, and my son had watched uh, other kids, other children act out and scream, "I want this," and lay on the floor and do whatever they had to do to get the parents to do what they wanted them to do. And I was not about that at all. And so my son wanted something, and I decided we're not going to get that. And he was upset with me. He laid out on the floor and screamed. So I walked away and I hid and I watched him. And he was just screaming and all on the floor. And then after a while, he got up and he looked around and he seen that I was not there. And he stopped. And he never ever did that again. But for him, he needed that experience to know that I was not going to succumb to uh, his behavior that he was trying to control B with, if that's what he was trying to do, which I'm sure it was. But basically, I would like to see a forum of women together, and we talk about child rearing. What can we do to enhance our children learning? What can we do to enhance their behavior and teach them things that we want to see in this world? You know, how can we imagine our children doing whatever it is that we want them to do? Uh, Meditation, all of that incorporated in it. You know, just that's what I imagine.
Gratitude for sharing that, Sharpay. I'm sorry, ShariBerryStudios.com. Anyone else sharing right now? Right quick, while y'all think about it. One thing I'm going to say in response to what Sharpay just shared, the last part about how do we visualize it. I don't know how you said imagine or picture something them the children in the future. I forget how you worded that fast. This is how when I interact with children lately, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record right now. The way I manage myself with children is the child at that time, before age 7 or before that, I imagine them being that person in this adult form. And I wouldn't want to see them run around whining all day, trying to be manipulative or some other stuff. So that's a part of my focus on working on. So when it comes to the how-to of child rearing, that's where my mind is at. I look at the child and I'm like, okay, as an adult, you would look like this in the grocery store. As an adult, you would look like this in an intimate relationship with your significant other. As an adult, you would look like that at the business table creating a contract. As an adult, you would look like that because you didn't want to clean your room or do your laundry or wash a dish, so your house would look like this. I imagine, so I work on those parts that I'm seeing, because I would want the child in their adult form to be in a clean house, to have their dishes washed, to have their laundry clean, to not be one of them people who wear an outfit and then just go put it right back in the closet and wear it a week later. No, wash that, dear. Wash that. And don't never sweep anything under the rug. Keep it out here clean it up, look at it. If you don't like it, then don't make that mess again. But please don't sweep that under the rug. So that's where my mind is at when I interact with children, or choose not to, because sometimes they're not of me, so I don't mess with them unless there's an extreme case and I ask before I step in. I didn't say I wait for approval. I said before I step in, because I'm coming. Just saying. I'm telling you, gotta watch them words people be talking. Seriously. On a side note, nothing side note. On this note. So yesterday somebody sent me this song, and one of the lyrics was, that whole I could give her the world. I was like, you could give her the world. People run around and say that all time. Some people say that. I could give her the world. I could give him the world. You could, you would. So did you? Did you? Or you were going to? You would have. If the other person would have done what in exchange? You would give them the world. I would give you the world. If what? And then the next question is, what world? What world are you offering up? Your world? Or what I need for my world? Or you just scrapping some stuff together and be like, here's the world. No, don't be throwing nothing at me, bro. Don't throw nothing at me, bro. And don't give me no world. I got my own world. I'm fine right here. Some of y'all need to stop with what you're saying. Pay attention and hear what you're saying. Don't nobody need you to give them no world. Calm down. Do that. That's my piece right now. That's my piece. Time. Like, people just be saying stuff. Quit just saying stuff because you heard somebody else say it. That's one thing we need to stop doing. Seriously, pause and think about what's coming out your mouth. And I call it barbershop talk. Don't be in there just talking, just running your mouth. All you doing is you're repeating what you heard. Do you even know what you're saying? Do you hear yourself talking? I've said this before. I know what I'm talking about because I have a son and I take him to the barbershop. I hate going to the barbershop because I realized, like, after the third time taking him, oh no, this is what your daddy needs to do. You gonna have to wait till your daddy get off work to get that hair cut, bro. Now this is what I know. We walk in the barbershop. This what they talking about. I ain't about to call them no name. This is what them talking about. They number one talking about some sports. Stop with the sports. The sports is just a form of entertainment to fund you out of yourself. Don't be funned up out of yourself. F-U-N, don't let them fund you up out of yourself. Quit getting mesmerized by a man running alongside with another man, sometimes touching the man, and they playing with a ball. Don't be amused because y'all watching men play with balls. Don't do that. Don't do that. Men be in a barbershop. Like, yeah, man, you see him run, quick, see him running. You was checking out how he was running. You was checking all that out. You watching his form. He got that form. Yep. You watching? You're supposed to be watching a woman's form. You're supposed to be watching how a woman run. Not run away from you. Running to you. Running to you would be great. How about y'all turn around that mirror, turn around that viewpoint, watch women run towards you, not away from you. Okay? And then y'all got that other sport y'all watch where they playing with pork. They call it pigskin. Quit watching all these men play with pork. Some of y'all play with enough pork in another form. Y'all don't need to be playing with no pork balls. Quit playing and getting surprised about pork balls. Thought y'all had a problem with pork. Some of y'all got a problem with pork, but y'all watch men play with pig skins, play with pork balls. Cut it out. Y'all is disgusting. And y'all sit up in a barbershop flexing with each other. Talking about me. I don't hear you. Only time I might hear y'all talk about women in the sports is if the Olympics is around. Or if y'all talking about how she slashed your tire, because sometimes that's a sport for some people. Y'all need to cut it out. The barbershop talk. And then they all come with the same script. I promise, whatever. It's some barbershops, they might be different. I need to take my son to that barbershop. So somebody inbox me, because I will, here's what my information. Inbox me if there's a barbershop who don't do this stuff I'm talking about right now. Cause my child and his haircut, sometimes the parts he get cut is important to me because it's important to him. And I even do stuff as far as have the barber come where we at. I will pay for the barber to manage and accompany my son appropriately and properly. Next, what they talk about is cars. Cars, motorcycles. Oh, don't let nobody roll up in something new. Oh, bro, what's that you driving? You know good and well you know that's what he's driving. You know, but you won't play. You won't dumb yourself down, act like he's schooling you. Like them mugs was in there schooling you on that pork and them pigskins, them balls. Then you want to look at some rims. You want to look at some beats. Y'all, there's some things y'all be beating. Y'all need to stop beating. There's some rims y'all be concerned about. Y'all need to stop messing with some type of rims. Y'all be on some infantile type stuff and don't even realize it. Y'all be on some immaturity levels and don't even realize it. The trunk, you can hear the metal on the trunk rattling. That vehicle is raggedy. And you raggedy for taking interest in that trunk rattling. And I stand on what I say all the time. I stand firm. Somebody don't like what I'm saying. You got something to say. Here go my ticker below. That's me. That's my info. Hit me up. We could talk about it. Matter of fact, there's a link in the description. You could come on here right now and speak on it. You an expert. You want to speak? Come speak on it. Channel's open to you. Then y'all always talking about some women. Now, the only time they talk about women is if they talking about how the woman did them bad, slashing tires, or the woman who come in like me with my son, and then when she leave out, you want to talk. You couldn't tell her all that stuff when you was here because you being disrespectful. Oh man, did you see them? How she was in them jeans and how the back in it, and then how the top of her shirt was. And man, did you see how she? You couldn't say none of that while she was there to her, because you're disrespectful. And you know, probably first of all, she wouldn't have gave you the time of day. She wouldn't even take you seriously because you're disrespectful. You didn't, in all them words you share with them so-called men, because as an actual man, he would have told you the same thing I'm telling you now. You could nowhere in you find a compliment and pay it to the lady. You couldn't get a lady a compliment. Now you want to wait till she leave out the door and then open your trash mouth. And the ones you talking to got them trash receptacle ears because they taking in what you saying. And then y'all, oh yeah, man, I'm saying that. Childish. Do that on the playground. Man, you see how fast she crossed the monkey bars? Man, I'm going to monkey bars next. Why don't y'all calm down? Y'all was childish. Childish. That's the barbershop talk. Quit talking about you gonna give somebody the world. Don't nobody want your world. She got her own world. He got his own world. I like for y'all to calm down in life. That's what we need to be working on. Calm down. Bring it down some levels. And that's my piece right now. That's my piece.
Well,
That's funny.
go ahead, Roger. Yeah.
So,
We're at war.
I apologize. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're at war. We have to realize that those distractions, those illusions, I talked about it on one of my videos about the illusions, the things we fall for because we're not thinking. Games, sports, distractions, illusions, to keep your mind off of what's really going on, because we're truly at war. They're coming for our mind. They're coming for everything that we are. And for that to be the focus is incorrect. It is deaf, dumb, and blind. It's not paying attention. It's not really hearing what's going on, seeing, or those with ears, let them hear. Those with eyes, let them see. pay attention. This is the time in our life when we need to be paying attention. We need to be alert. We need to stop the competition and the distractions. They're all distractions. That's men and women. So if you understand that, then that frivolous behavior or talk or whatever it is that you're doing on all parts, that should cease. This is not competition. We're at war. We're at war with our minds. They're coming for our minds. Our mind. That's what they're coming for. So be cognizant of what's going on around you. Pay attention. That's all I got to say.
Anyone else? Ramontel? Yep, I see you unmuted that mic. Let's have it. Let's have it, brother.
So I get what you're saying because I mean I see it a lot, but I'll tell you about mine, the barbers that I go to, right? So years ago when I first moved back to Pittsburgh, there was a brother who was building up on his barbershop. You know, he just he has a story himself to tell. A lot of similarities that we both had. I was kind of vibe with it. So he put me on this book about like manifestation, not on the book like that book called The Secrets or whatnot, but a whole different outlook on it, like learning how to manifest things. So one day when he allowed me to read the book, I'm sitting back and I'm just thinking like, all right, so the type of rapport I have with my barbers is always on a building process. Like some days like we'll have like a pizza day. I mean, they know I don't eat meat, but I will always put in to feed the anybody, the clients or the children that come in, because his barbershop is called King's Kids Barbershop, right? The type of respect this man has for the people is just like undying. I mean, there's a lot of business that he deals with when it comes to his own. So one day I had a conversation with him and I was talking to him about like, hey, so you see, like you have your barbershop, right? We have all these, quote unquote black barbershops. So at anywhere in the state of Pittsburgh, or not even state of Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, in the city of Pittsburgh, do you see a franchise? Is there a franchise going on? Everybody has their own. Nobody's connecting with each other. So I told the brother, I said, hey, you should start a franchise. I said, now just think about it. You have Super, you have this, you have that, you have the mobile versions, things of that nature. What company that you know that's a black owned company that's out here doing almost the same exact thing? Nobody. So as the years go by, I know he was thinking upon it because that's all we do. We talk about business, building, growing. Anytime I get a cut, even though it's not my barbershop and I'm not the cleanup guy, every time I get a cut, I will sweep up the whole place, showing that that's the respect because I'm giving that energy to give that energy back to me. The type of people that I'm surrounding myself with is like-minded individuals, even though they see me in a different light because I'm an anime type of dude. So when I come in the barbershop, I'm always greeted as Dragon because they call me Dragon Ball Z in there. The reason for it because I have the logos and things of that nature. So the type of rapport they give me, they just call me Dragon. From that, I'm noticing they're allowing me to do this. Like sometimes I pull out my card, sometimes I pull out my astrology, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters that come in there, and a lot of them are just like, hey, hey, hey. Since he knows what I do now, he's very comfortable with me doing, what I do. Granted, he doesn't want me to do it for him, but at the same time, he allows me to help people. So the type of rapport I have with that type of setting that we have built with each other has spread it within his community. His brother has more shops now and is still growing. He's trying to get back into the show thing, trying to get back into the groove of things because of this whole shutdown. But I'm very proud of this brother because he took the time and he listened to the fact that even though we're in the shutdown, planning those next moves. So as soon as we get some leeway, just a little bit of leeway, get that stuff, and that's what he did. And then, in the barbershop, we do, have some, moments in that area. We have those nigga moments in a sense. But at the same time, a lot, it's all about the environment that you're creating. If you're trying to create an environment where it's not even just safe, but it's a learning environment, because, they let the kids play the game and things of that nature. Got a lot of crybabies that come in there and things of that nature. But at the same time, I know for a fact that everyone that comes there and they are greeted with him and his team, or myself and my team that will come in, or just people that we know each other. We're building on a branch on the shot network to build up character. So when it comes to the salons, it's like all I can think about is like, some of the conversations that they had that I just be sitting there and listening to when I get my locks retwist. And it's like the things that I hear from them, I can vibe with. But at the same time, the atmosphere of the team that they, or certain have certain teams, it's just not working. So from my point of view, or just the moral of the story is that you gotta, if you're going to be in those type of settings, no matter where you're at, allow yourself to help create the atmosphere. Allow yourself to create that vibe, because I'm telling you, the energy that you put into that type of environment is going to show outside your life as well.
Yes. No. Right quick. Yes. The salons, them beauty shops, y'all be tripping sometimes too.
Yeah.
Y'all do. But for the most part, uh, no, not like them barbershops. No.
That bad. I mean, there is some. It all depends on the environment. For real, for real. The environment that
That's
you create,
right. For real, for real. But
if
for real,
you're
for
not
real,
trying to
every
do that
time I've
stuff,
been in a barbershop, no
mhm,
matter the city or the environment, they be in there clowning. I think the only place I've been in that they got some sense would be like, what's that called? Sports clips. What's that called?
hmm
But
but
hey,
that's a franchise, not like part of our own.
you know what I mean? I'm about to say they don't be in the hood. They don't be in the hood.
Mm.
And it
You see
don't
them
be in the
downtown.
hood talking brothers and sisters in there neither.
You see them in
They
that,
all washed
the
up,
outlet area.
cleaned up. My bad, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? You see them downtown areas. You don't see them in the
Yeah.
places um, where they need to be seen, because they're not trying to create that environment for us. Instead, they just want to be like, all right, we're just going to do this. We're going to charge this, this, and this. The same type of cut you can get from this person who's definitely going to mess your head up because they don't know how to deal with our texture when it comes to our people in a sense. By the same time, our people are um, multi-talented. They just not can do us. They can do all hair. And it's just like, just to have that in these certain areas that we are forced to be in, from when I was talking about my story, the craft apparel mentality. We're trying to break free with those generations, because just to give like more insight to what I was talking about. So what I was speaking on when it's dealing with the um, generations that's correlates with a certain planet they call Pluto, or the dwarf planet, however people want to see it. Pluto indicates generations. So as I was going through the story, I was just telling about the story of the generations of the Cancer generation, the Leo generation, the Virgo generation, the Fucus and the Scorpio generation, and our current generation is the Sagittarian ones. So now that we have this thing called retrograde, where it's just giving a pause, eventually that planet's going to go into Capricorn in some odd years. So as we're looking at these generations and we understand these type of energies that come with it, a person is able to see the story that is written from the past all the way to the present. So once we know who's coming in, like right now, we're dealing with a whole bunch of Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, all the way to let me rewrite it, from Leo to Sagittarius generations. The upcoming ones are the ones that's the Libra. They're the ones that's in their 20s, mid 20s, maybe 28. So having this program, having these talks, having these realization or these moments, when they see that, and if they can collaborate with it, you're going to start to see that shift. because someone needs to make a shift or add to the shift that we're all trying to push. As you put in the title, pushing forward. For my purpose of pushing forward, understanding where it went wrong in the generations and how we can transform it. Because obviously, when it comes to resurrection and transformation, that's what Pluto deals with, or how they would classify it. Now, pass the mic.
That was peaceful. Passing the mic. Who has the mic now?
I'd rather pick up that. I'd rather take that up after a test. That was very deep because we're talking about the barber shop, which I often go to because I get my hair cut, and I'm often just sitting back and listening to what the barbers are saying. So I can already pretty much imagine the kind of education my son has had, or my sons have had once they've been to the barber shop. So this just goes back to saying, when we are vetting our community, what type of people do we want in that community? Um, the barbershop is often seen as a significant place for our young men to be. They're not on the streets, they're getting their hair cut, they're around older gentlemen. But what's really going on in the barbershop is, as a woman who's taken her sons to get their haircuts and get my haircut, it's not the education I want them to have, or usually even the type of men that I want them to be around listening to, because they're going to listen to what these men are saying. They're going to take it in. I've sat there and they've got usually raunchy videos, or they're playing video games, or it's some music video which is not based in reality at all. So when we're talking about the upbringing of our young people, as Ramatev said, he has the ability within the barbershop which he attends to step in and bring a more positive tone and vibe. And also, he's already dealing with someone who has that state of mind. So the environment is not poisonous. So he has that ability to go in and, pick a little bit of information, pick some education, pick some, different narratives and state of beings. Whereas the regular barbershop talk would be like, oh my God, did you see that video? Did you see her? She's so hot. Like you say, the cars, all these things that beyond that just focus on the material world, even the athletes. Like I don't want my children concentrating on any athlete whatsoever at any point in time ever, because they are the epitome of what holds the system up. So, but in the barbershop, athletes are revered. But as a homeschooler and a parent, I know I don't want my children practicing idolatry. And if you have a favorite athlete, you're practicing probably some type of idolatry. And these people aren't really who you think they are. If you just look at the television for a minute, which I don't know who the latest athlete is besides the gymnastics girl. I've been disillusioned with it because of all this other stuff they've got on. Sports isn't just sports anymore. It's all political. And unfortunately, our athletes who look like us are holding up a system which demeans their people. So I don't want my children ever being in an environment that upholds these type of people on a pedestal for any reason. So when we do talk about getting land and libraries and things of this, it's for our star seed. I'm always going to push that everything I'm talking about is for the future generations, it's for our children. And this is what we don't want around our children, and this is what we do want around our children. And I'm always going to tout to always get rid of that television. If you buy your children these talking toys that have that vernacular of Caucasians, you are handing your child's intelligence over to that IA, to that artificial intelligence mechanism. So we have to be careful as parents so that we don't go against what we say we desire for our children, and unknowingly putting our children in positions and putting them around environments and mechanisms that actually go against what we want for them. So yeah, we do have to be careful when we go to these different our environments or have our children in these environments getting these services, so to speak.
Yes. Yes. Anyone else? I've been working on breathing and drinking my water. I'm not attempting any more tangents today on this broadcast. But if one come up, I will. It's come. It's here. But now, no, I'm good right
I definitely speak my piece on that. Um, Definitely, I appreciate this time with everyone. Definitely going to rewind and rewatch and see what the parts that I was missing. I'm definitely
now. Keep your face. You trying to be in?
thankful for this. I'm definitely thankful for this topic because it's a big thing when it comes to dealing with the land. Everybody talks about it, but nobody has how they say the right idea. Because a lot of us are still in that crab in the barrel mentality. A lot of us are still in that crab in the net mentality. A lot of us are the crabs that just sit there like, oh, I'm just going to still be in nature, and I'm no longer going to want to help my brothers and sisters or my family members. Building upon what we are establishing, not just with ourselves, but with the rest of the world and the community. The bottom line is more action with our words and more talking with our actions. Atumra Mahotep.
Hotep, Ramatef. So yes, also right quick, anytime anyone wants to leave, you need to leave, not want to leave. Anytime you leave, we we're okay with that. Leave, we got things to do. We acknowledge that. I appreciate the time that anyone is able to be here is here. So and that's my piece on that. Anything else we want to discuss today or continue on to speak on?
Actually, I would like to do a part two of this lecture today, land, libraries, and livelihoods. I think it's so much bigger than what, like today we just really glossed over some of the importance of this it's like nation building process. So we've glossed over it today, but hopefully we can come back to the table with some more of our matriarchs and patriarchs and build it, because I love this. I love this one. This is a very good one.
Yeah.
Well, I have my pen out. I wrote that down, so it'll happen. We'll get it together. We'll all meet and schedule. And again, I'm working on making this series a regular. So 10 a.m. Today is Tuesday. I think last time it was on a Thursday. So I'm working with keeping up definitely to 10 a.m. And I know for sure, Bay, that's you in a whole nother time zone.
Yes,
So it's
it
kind
was
of early.
7. Yeah.
So we have to move this to another day. And right quick, for those of you who are viewing this, what you're seeing right now, this is what we do when the camera goes off. So sometimes we just gonna keep the camera on and roll. So again, with you as well, anytime you need to depart from us, we accept that. We acknowledge that, and we thank you for the time that you have been here with us as well, and for all the comments, the interaction from you as well. Charbet, you were saying?
I was just agreeing with all of you. I would like to see a part 2 of this. Hi, sweetie. And
Hi.
and I would like to yeah, I would like to see more just more of us discussing and coming together and making some decisions, with our words. Yes. So, but I'm going to leave you right now. I appreciate you. Joy, you look lovely today, by the way. and
Gratitude.
yes, and Sister Selena, absolutely, you're lovely every day too. And
Yeah.
I bid you peace, and to the audience, peace. And I'm going to go and take a shower. Too much information.
Okay, because I need one right now too. Goodness.
Yeah, it's always, it's always
Uh-huh.
good.
That's dirty. Stop touching.
Hi.
Salima, what was that you said?
I was yeah, it was a blessing to talk to her today.
I can't
Did
hear
you
you.
hear me? I'm sorry, I was telling the matriarch it was good to talk to her today.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So did you want to go ahead and we come back and you continue on part two, or you want more to you got more you want to share right now?
Nope, I have to go too. We're all
Okay.
ready to go for the day.
Okay, you see me pulling out clothes. I'm about to get them dressed. We about to make it happen too. It's that time.
All right
All
then.
right.
I
Peace.
love you. Matriarch. Have a great day.
You as well. Peace, love, and light. And I'll see you again on I Am My Sister's Keeper on another day, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace again to all of you. Love and light to you as well. And again, I appreciate everyone for being here and joining us on this platform of I Am My Sister's Keeper. We will see you 10 a.m. or no, later. We want to move it later, probably about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we still have yet to select a regular date. We appreciate everyone working with us while we are going through the process of maintaining the series and getting the foundational structure of the series, I Am My Sister's Keeper, secure. And we will be with you all next time. Peace again, love and light. Until then.